Welcome back to another episode of Run the Tape. 3 dudes, 1 game, and all the tape. We are back today. Another great week of NBA basketball. New setup. We got our mics. We got our equipment now, so we should be
official.
We official. The audio should be much better now. But yeah, let's
do it for the fans, man.
Yeah, hey, we're trying to upgrade. We're trying to get new things going.
Yeah,
right.
We here.
Shout out Griff on the mic.
Yeah,
Sir.
So let's get right into it. Got to start off with, like we always do, the unfortunate news of the NBA week. Pat Bev, NBA vet, retired at this point, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know if he's
Officially
actually retired,
yeah.
but he will never play in an NBA game ever again. Let's just
Especially
say that.
after what the incidents. Ilian, you can specify closer.
Arrested earlier this week for an incident involving him and his sister, who he caught his 15-year-old sister with an 18-year-old dude. Feel how you may about the subject. What ended up happening was he ultimately put his hands on his sister out of frustration. Was arrested, has not yet been charged, but ultimately, all the details aren't out. But unfortunate situation. Pat Bev, we all know, is somewhat of a hothead. Just terrible to hear, especially his podcast career has taken off.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. Barstool Sports actually fired him recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's the platform he was doing his pod on.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
It was actually a very successful podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely got a lot of clicks. And honestly, what he did was wrong, but I always wish the best for our guys in the A.
Yep.
And we hope he gets better mentally, and he's back talking ball soon because
100%. Always had funny things to say. Always had interesting things to say. I may disagree with a lot, but obviously a vet right there who has something to contribute. Other interesting news coming out of the NBA: Ja Morant, Klay Thompson barking at it after the Dallas Mavericks Memphis Grizzlies game. To me, it was kind of embarrassing on Ja Morant's part.
On Ja Morant, for
It's
sure.
not even a question.
It's not even a question.
You're barking at a 4-time NBA champ right now. You haven't played. First of all, this has been his worst season of his career.
You've been first round exit almost every year of your career.
First round exit merchant at this point.
Merchant.
Like he's farming those right now.
Sometimes not even making the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
We don't look at them on even the same remote tier.
Yeah.
And the thing with Ja Morant that I'm most upset about, and with this situation specifically, it's just the amount of disrespect that he gave towards Klay Thompson in the situation, pointing in his face, saying they actually lost the game, the Warriors, but post game he made a comment about how Klay Thompson pretty much didn't have a great shooting night. He said something like it wasn't that boy from Golden State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was disrespectful, and doing that to one of the greatest shooters and shooting guards of this era, it's clown-like behavior from him.
It's 100% clown-like behavior from him.
And
man.
I love what Klay said about Ja Morant. No accountability ever with this guy.
Yeah, he just needs to grow up.
He needs to grow up. And it started with that whole, we have no one to worry about in the West. It's only this. And then it went to the whole gun situation. And it's never accountability. It's never accountability with this guy. And obviously he can make his own choices. He's his own man. But
and in that post-game interview, he wasn't even bashing Ja. He was literally being fully honest and trying to give him advice through the media, saying, listen, it's time to take control of your life, be accountable, move on, and just be a better person and basketball player moving forward.
be a better role model.
Dude, you've become a liability, not only for your organization, but like for what your career stands for. Like he's had high expectations go on him since he's come to the NBA. His rookie season, he was phenomenal. Rookie of the year that year, and since then, high expectations. Two seed in the West. Obviously, you had the quote saying like we're good in the West,
Losing the first round.
But ever since then, it's like, you expected more year after year, and what we saw is mediocrity, bad shooting, bad attitude, off the court issues, and hasn't taken accountability for any of the stuff that he's done. And it's so unfortunate because like what the fans look at him as is a great player, like phenomenal.
Potential face of the league at one point.
At one point, potential face of the league. Well,
That's out the window now.
yeah, that's definitely out the window
You
now.
know, and that's money that he lost, right? Not to speak on his money.
Going to the money thing. This is a guy who, when he got suspended for the Instagram Live instant, he was able, if he played a certain amount of games that season, he was going to get a supermax contract. But guess what? That was not on the table for him. Guy lost tens of millions of dollars from that. John Morant needs to start taking accountability.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say one last thing on this. I think it's interesting, something that I don't know a lot about, but I would like to look into more. Nike dropped Kyrie Irving for similar off-the-court behaviors, right? Whether it was the whole posting of the documentary that was controversial, whatever the situation was, Nike dropped Kyrie, one of their probably their best-selling shoe throughout those years,
100%,
for a lot less than what John Morant is doing right now.
At one point, like how we see the Kobe's in the NBA today is what we saw is what we thought the Kyrie shoes was.
Everyone wore Kyries.
Everyone wore Kyries. It was such an accessible shoe. It was such a cheap shoe. Like, kids were wearing them. Adults were wearing them. The NBA players were wearing them.
Yeah.
And then, booted him like it was like nothing.
Yeah, I think what Kyrie did was a little bit different, though. Obviously, what they both did was wrong.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving, I think, reposted something on social media that was about an anti-Semitic film.
Yeah.
And obviously, we know what John Morant did. So I think those are two different situations that are separate, if that makes sense.
It is very separate. It's very separate instances. But I think there's a lack of accountability on John Morant's part to hold him to a certain standard as an athlete and as like a social figure, so to speak.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to some brighter topics. Okay. The Detroit Pistons.
On a hot streak.
Hot streak right now. Second hottest start in the NBA. 15-2 as of right now. Cade has been playing out of his mind. I think a huge piece, someone that we were talking about, could potentially be a top 5 center in the league right now. Jalen Duren, absolute stud right now.
He's my most improved player of the year.
Ooh, I like that.
He's my most improved. He's taken this team to the next level. Yeah. He's jumped his game. Not to say that he was bad last season, but the jump that he's made is not only all-star level, but bringing this team to like what we're seeing, the first seed in the NBA. If we continue this until February, I mean, till the end of the season, he's no doubt in my mind the most improved for me.
100%. And coming out of Memphis, he was very sought after, very intriguing prospect.
Yeah.
The issue for him that scouts were worried about was him being able to stretch the floor. This guy has shown the ability to do that.
But now,
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Obviously, a lob threat. Probably one of the top 3 strongest players in the NBA. Has great footwork in the post. And that shot looks good, mid-range and 3-point. Mm-hmm. It could be scary if Jalen Duren keeps improving.
Yeah, that pick and roll, man.
So I have a question for you guys. With how the Pistons are currently constructed, obviously they're a team built on youth. They were just in a rebuild. Is it worth going all in this season, trying to get someone like a Lauri Markkanen, really trying to compete for the championship? Or is this a situation where you're young, let's get the reps in, let's get the playoff reps in, let's wait it out a little bit, let's keep our young core together and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, with Lauri Markkanen specifically, Utah's asking price has just been ridiculous. They want 2 young players and 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if I feel comfortable trading in a Sar Thompson or
definitely not
Jaden
Ivey and 3 first for a guy like Lauri.
Me too.
We know what Lauri brings, and I just don't. I don't think.
Do you think that doesn't bring them over the hump?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Honestly,
sure.
Do you guys think they're over the hump now? I mean, they are the first seed in the East. It's early, but they are the first seed in the East.
I think at this point in time, you look at it as they hold back a little bit. I think you go into those playoffs, see how you do, and then over the offseason, work on what you need to work on. We saw this with the OKC Thunder when they were their first time going as the first seed in the West. Obviously, it was a big accomplishment for them. They had their big young core that they developed, and they were like second round exits at that point.
Yes, they were
like two years ago, I believe. And I think they saw what they did during that season, and they didn't make too many big offseason moves during. I mean, in season moves during that time, but they made the adjustments by bringing in players like Hartenstein over the offseason, which was a great addition for them,
Yeah.
especially on the defensive end. That made their team pop off through the roof. So I think what they should do at this point is, really look at their team right now. You know this team's good. See how well you do this postseason. Obviously, last season you were a first round exit to the Knicks, a really good Knicks team.
Yep.
So if you can see more development in this postseason, we can readjust and see how we can adjust.
Look for some free agents this offseason.
100%.
Go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think
not a bad
that's
strategy.
the perfect bet. Exactly what the Oklahoma City did.
I think the end goal for the Pistons this season, and obviously the goal is to win a championship, but I would be very satisfied if this team went to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
You have to
I
be.
agree.
Yeah,
I
you
think
have
that's
to
a
be.
great standard for them at this point in time.
Yeah. I expect a second round exit, but an Eastern Conference,
It's
finals
so
appearances.
open.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is open.
The
It
East is
right now.
open for business.
Yep.
For sure.
Another team that I want to talk about that's off to a hot start. Two other teams that I want to talk about that are off to a hot start. Miami Heat. Okay. What a start that they have been on, especially for a team that kind of looked all over the place this offseason. Obviously, they had the new addition of Norman Powell, who's been playing, again, out of his mind.
All-star level.
All-star level, again.
25 points a game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's ridiculous. And, we're going to get to the whole Clippers letting him go thing. But best offense in the league, right? I think you were telling me a stat about...
Yeah, I have a stat. I actually saw this on Instagram, but they have 5 140-point games so far this season. Going back to 2018, before this season, they only had 7.
Yeah.
In all those seasons.
Yeah.
This is a different Miami offense than we've seen from Eric Spoelstra, a lot faster pace, but I like it.
And you said they were like the fastest pace right now or something like that?
They are the fastest paced team in the NBA at the moment, and a lot of players from last season stepping up, man. Most notably, Jaime Jaquez has been playing out of his mind, not only offensively but defensively has been phenomenal, man. He's been honestly playmaking at a really good level too, getting his other teammates open as well, being able to screen really well, drive to the basket, getting his own shot. I think he's been a phenomenal piece and super underrated in the NBA at the moment.
Another piece I love is Khalil Ware.
Khalil Ware.
Third-year center.
Dude.
Looking
yeah.
like one of the better young players in the league right now.
Yeah.
Averaging 12 points a game, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks.
His rookie season, he was in the conversation for Rookie of the Year.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, he brings a certain athleticism that you don't see in a person that size. It's very rare. It's almost Wemby-like, but obviously not on the same level, but it's pretty close as far as athleticism.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been
Speed
awesome.
for that size,
But yeah, guys like Jaime Jaquez, Andrew Wiggins, Bam, they're just playing their role. We know what Bam brings. One of the best
course.
bigs in the league. You can kind of run a system through him.
Super
and
consistent player, man.
He's a great leader.
great leader. I love his leadership.
Yep. And then the last team that is off to a phenomenal start. It's some really unexpected start. Got to give my flowers to Griff over here who called this. The Toronto Raptors.
The 2 seed.
12. They have won 12 of the last 13 games. They're on an 8-game win streak. They are players. I mean, the depth on their team, right? That's one of the things that stood out. That stood out so far this season. Obviously, Ingram is having one of his better years, and Scotty Barnes is exactly what we expected Scotty Barnes to be, right?
Yeah.
Consistent, great defensively, great communicator, and holding his place down on the offensive end. So, yeah.
I think that it is time, like you said, to give Brandon Ingram more attention. He didn't play at the end of last season when he got traded last year from the Pelicans. He has been so efficient and productive so far this season. 21 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Gets whatever shot he wants. One of the best mid-range shooters I've ever seen, honestly. And it's time to look at him as one of those perennial offensive talents that could change a game at any time. And I think he is just unbelievable, and I believe he will be an all-star this season.
Yeah. At this point, I'd
Really?
say no doubt about it. Second seed in the East.
You think he's the best player on the Toronto Raptors?
I'd still say Scotty Barnes is their best player.
Yeah.
Because what he brings offensively and defensively. And obviously, I think he's been shooting a lot better than he has been in recent years.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes wise. But
And going back to that depth, like at every position they have depth. They have quickly at point guard, backup, Jamal Shed. Jakob Pertl isn't depth, but he has been great this season so far. Their rookie Colin Murray Bowles, a great perimeter defender. I'm very excited to see how he develops. Grady Dick, great shooter, obviously, from mid-range and three-point land. Jacoby Walter, another great shooter. This is just a team that has guys who can play. And they all play defense, which I love. I think the Raptors can keep this production up.
Yeah.
I really do. And I've been saying this, as you guys know.
Yeah, extremely young team, man. The chemistry looking really good. I think the players are really meshing together really well. I just like how nowadays, the NBA is getting younger and younger, and we see just new players coming in, developed really well, and coming into this new systems looking great. So yeah, I'm loving this new teams, new NBA.
And might as well. Who's their GM? I can't recall his name, but he's been there for a very long time, and he's been through many phases of the Toronto Raptors team.
Yeah.
I think I know Toronto was talking about firing their GM at some points last season. I think he's done a phenomenal job. We talk about he was the guy who picked up Kyle Lowry. He was the guy who picked up DeMar DeRozan. He's the guy who traded DeMar for Kawhi, ended up getting a chip. He's the guy who picked out Pascal Siakam. It's time that we give him his flowers.
Yeah, for sure.
And he picked out this coach who's been a phenomenal coach for this Toronto team. Obviously, Darko. Yeah. I can't. Whatever. But I don't know. I love what's going on over there.
Even with the Brandon Ingram situation, picking up Brandon Ingram was low key a steal. I mean, at the time of the trade, it was low key like frowned upon. Bringing in Brandon Ingram, obviously from the Pelicans, that whole situation didn't come off that great.
Yeah. And
now him coming to this Toronto team, looking a lot better. More better than past years. The GMing is looking great, man. I love it.
And honestly, I think we can all agree on this. When the Raptors are good, the NBA is just better.
Yeah.
With that fan base, and I kind of like the idea of having one Canadian team, but I think the NBA is just more exciting when the Raptors are competitive.
Yeah. Agreed.
100%. All right, let's move on to this next question. I think it's going to be a very interesting question. So another team that got off to a hot start, they cooled off a lot since then, is the Charlotte Hornets. Okay.
Talk about cold
as of recently. They have some pieces. They have a lot of young pieces. One of those pieces being, I'm not sure if he's the favorite right now, but Rookie of the Year candidate Con Knippel has been playing out of his freaking mind, especially compared to for a rookie. Right? He's been playing out of his mind for a player, let alone a rookie. From Duke, he's averaging 19 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists. This is really where his numbers stick out. He's shooting 8 threes a game and at a percentage of 43%. That is high volume, high efficiency. That is great 3-point stats for an NBA player. Field goal attempts, he's at 13 for 49%. Also great efficiency. But the question here is, who would you rather have on your team, right? Con Knippel or his teammate Lamelo Ball? Obviously, Lamelo Ball was Rookie of the Year back in his day. Totally different game than Con Knippel, right? He's a dribbler. He's a playmaker. Con Knippel is more of a, more of the traditional 3-and-D player, but he adds more to that. What are your thoughts? Who would you guys have going forward?
For me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but for me, I'm definitely going Con Knippel, man. Con Knippel, like you said, his stats, just bounce off the stat sheet. Like his 3-point shooting has been phenomenal this season. Obviously, the Hornets have been just looking really bad as an organization overall. But I will say the one good spot on their team is Con Knippel. He's bringing that shooting night in and night out, and he's just so lights out, and I think any team would be lucky to have him. Speaking about LaMelo Ball, this is the same LaMelo Ball we've been seeing for years since he stepped into the NBA, man. His flaws are showing deeper every single year. His shooting has regressed. Like he holds the ball way too long. Obviously, he's been injured a little bit this season, but he holds the ball way too long to be an efficient player. Offensively, just like doesn't get his teammates involved unless it's in transition. Defensively, a liability. Like there's so many flaws to his game, and like you would hope that you would take that next step in being more of that facilitator, being able to create shots for other people in the half court, and he just hasn't been that. He's never really been that, and at this point, obviously we've been seeing that he's finally in discussions for trades, and I think it might be better for him to find a trade somewhere else. Seek somewhere else for him. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for me specifically, Concanipple coming out of college, he was a very, very intriguing prospect. A great shooter, but could also take it to the rack as well. I was a little worried about that transition, whether that would translate to the NBA. But from what I've seen so far, this is a guy who could just flat out create his own shot anywhere on the floor. Mid-range, three-point line, taking it to rack. This isn't just a three-point shooter. This isn't just a 3-and-D player. This is a guy you can truly build around and can be one of the better shooting guards in the NBA. I know that is crazy to say. It's been such a small sample size, but I'm a really, really big fan of Con Knipple. And as far as Lamelo Ball, one more thing about Con. The off-ball movement is something I'm very impressed with. He understands spacing in a way that's very rare at his age. He's only 19 years old, which is just insane.
Insane.
With the shooting with that and off-ball movement, I'm a really big fan of Con Knipple. As far as LaMelo, again, like you just said, Kai, we know what we're going to get from him at this point. I don't see much improvement from his game. And honestly, he's just, for me, I take leadership into account, especially for a point guard, and I just haven't really seen that from him. And I haven't seen him change the culture in Charlotte the way I've wanted to so far. So I'm going to go with Con Knipple. I would take him right now over LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
I might go a different route. And again, this is no shade to Con Knipple. I honestly, from what I've watched from the Hornets this season, I haven't caught every game, but I have liked what I saw from LaMelo Ball. They've played at a different pace this season. They've tried to speed stuff up, and that's LaMelo's game. He's shooting 36% from the three, which I think is a very comfortable percentage, especially at the volume that he's shooting. You said that he's not a very good defender. I don't think he's a liability on defense. He can get a lot of steals and get out in transition. Obviously, his scoring ability and his passing ability, I think that he can be a key piece on a championship team. The leader aspect, I agree with, and I think that's valuable for a point guard. And I don't think that he is that, but I don't think he is a first option on a contender. I think he's more of a third option, and I think that would suit him very well. My comparison would be a player like Derek White, right? LaMelo Ball could be a very good player, similar to what Derek White is, and his scoring ability is just as deep.
You're comparing LaMelo Ball to Derek White? They play completely different.
Liam, I don't get it.
What are we talking about?
I don't get it. What do they do?
What do they do that's similar?
Yeah.
Facilitators of the ball,
They
passers of the ball.
facilitate completely different.
Yeah,
they facilitate completely different.
How?
Derek White facilitates way better in the half court. LaMelo Ball facilitates in transition.
LaMelo Ball can facilitate in the half court. He does facilitate in the half court. He is a better transition facilitator.
And then, like I said, three-pointing, I think Derek White's a better shooter when it comes to catch and shoot. LaMelo Ball is just a shooter when
LaMelo Ball is better off the dribble.
Off the dribble, yeah. So they just play completely different games.
I don't think they do. Derek White was a primary ball handler for the Boston Celtics last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying play style wise is totally different, bro. What are we talking about? And then,
how is it totally different? They're both point guards.
And then defense wise, it's just night and day, bro. It's like
no, man. LaMelo Ball is not a bad defender.
Dude, have we seen him this season?
Okay, I'll
say this. He's not a bad defender.
I'll say this about LaMelo. LaMelo is good defensively in spurts, but down the stretch, LaMelo Ball on defense the defense just is not there. In late game situations
lazy.
specifically. Yes, he gets
He
lazy.
gets blown by so much.
100%.
It's especially recent games. He's been acting, bro. He's been playing like he doesn't even care. They just let people go by him. Have you been watching?
Yes, bro. I've been impressed with what I saw from LaMelo Ball this year.
They've won the first couple games in the season, and then they've been ice cold, and that's including how he's been playing. He's been playing awful.
You also got to think about it from
No, he is not.
Yes, oh my god.
You got to think about it from a turnover ratio standpoint as well. LaMelo Ball, yes, he averages a ton of assists, but he turns the ball over 4 or 5 times a game. Derek White is not a guy who's going to do that. Derek White is Derek White is a much better decision maker than LaMelo Ball.
Agreed. Agreed.
I agree. LaMelo Ball is younger.
Not what he said.
Well, I was adding on to that. LaMelo Ball is younger. Derek White wasn't always the Derek White that we know he is today. But LaMelo Ball is also a better passer than Derek White ever was, or ever will be, for that matter.
Yes, that's it.
He's a better scorer than Derek White as well. If you put LaMelo Ball in a system similar to the Boston Celtics, LaMelo Ball would be good. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying as a first option.
I'm disagreeing with that, but again, it comes down to the decision making.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball is not a good decision maker. He's averaging 4. He averages 4 turnovers a game.
His usage rating is through the roof as well. Concanipo has benefited off of a lot of what LaMelo Ball does.
No, I think a lot of his come off of ever since LaMelo Ball has been injured, he's been playing through the roof since he's been since he's been out. What are we talking about?
100%.
I'm not saying Concanipo's bad, but I'm saying LaMelo Ball is.
But to say he's been benefiting,
yes,
I disagree.
Everyone in the Hornets benefits from what LaMelo Ball does.
So if you're starting a franchise right now, you truly feel more comfortable taking LaMelo Ball over Concanipo right now.
Right now, I think LaMelo Ball is a better player. I think Concanipo has the potential to be the better player. So right now,
you take him for your franchise. You take him for your franchise.
You would build a franchise around Concanipo?
Absolutely,
absolutely.
I would not. I would absolutely not.
100%.
Concanipo's a role player. I wouldn't build a franchise around him.
Concanipo is not a role player.
He is a role player.
He is not.
He is. He is a role player. He will be a role player in his career. He's a great player, but he's going to be a role player. My comparison is he is a Klay Thompson with a better handle.
He is literally Devin Booker 2.0. That is literally what he is.
I'll take that over whatever you said, for sure.
Okay.
I'm documenting it right now. Book it. Concanipo will be a top 5 shooting guard in 4 years.
Okay.
I hope I remember this for 4 years, but yes.
Hopefully we'll still be doing this.
Documented.
Yep.
There forever, so. All
right, let's go into the next question. Another one that I think will be a little controversial. 2 teams that futures are looking rough for. The LA Clippers, the Phoenix Suns. Who has a worse future? So let me put a little bit of context to it. The Clippers don't have a first round pick until they don't have a pick until 2030. All their picks have been sent somewhere else via trade for whatever reason.
To the Thunder.
Yep. Specifically this year to the Thunder. I believe unprotected first round pick. So
yeah.
That's not looking good considering the Clippers are at the bottom of the West right now. Phoenix Suns, obviously we talk about the Bradley Beal contract. Bradley Beal shaved off $13 million off that contract. They still owe him $96 million stretched over 5 years, so that equals about $20 million a year. Not good for them at all. And they don't own any real picks of theirs really until 2027. So obviously they don't have a lot of picks to choose from. They do have a pick this year, but it's the worst pick on the Cavs. I don't really understand the details of it, but it's between the Cavs and the Warriors. Who do you guys think who do you think is in a worse position? The Phoenix Suns or the LA Clippers?
For me, I am definitely going to go with the Clippers. They're in a situation right now where they are the oldest team in the NBA. with two aging stars who were once two of the best players in the NBA at a point.
At one point.
But
yeah.
the Clippers need to realize that's just not the reality anymore. Obviously, Harden's playing out of his mind right now, but there's just a lot of volume coming from him. And yes, Harden will produce when given opportunities. But
Yeah, he's not a scrub.
exactly. But as
Harden's been
far
playing
as,
out of his mind.
huh?
Harden's been playing out of his mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But like you said, given the opportunity.
But you got to think about it from an age perspective too. This is, can he continue this? Anyway, for the Clippers, this is an organization that just moved in to a new arena, a massive billions of dollar project. With the team they have now and this new fresh start for the Clippers, I just don't love their future, and I don't see anything coming out of this roster right now with Kawhi and Harden. And from there, without their picks, I don't think they're in a great position. I don't think they can get a ton back for their stars if they wanted to rebuild. And if they did rebuild, that would just be very bad for the Clippers. And I think there needs to be some serious decisions made in this season about what their future is going to look like.
For sure.
So I think the Clippers are definitely in a worse spot.
All right. For me, I think you bring up very good points. I think coming into this new arena, it's very valid that you want to impress your fans, you want people coming through the door. But I think for the longevity of of your franchise and for long term wise, I would have to say that the Phoenix Suns are in a worse position. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns are lacking many of their picks because of very poor decisions that they've made. But what tops it off for me is the burning of the Bradley Beal contract. I think what is it they're burning for the next 5 years?
They're basically burning 20 mil off their cap for the next 5 years.
Exactly. 20 mil off their cap for the next 5 years is that's a huge chunk of money. That's a chunk of money that can go to a key signing every single season. And having that on top of the situation that they're in. Obviously, I will say that the Phoenix Suns are playing very well right now. I believe they're in playoff contention at the moment, which is very good considering what we all believe that they could have been at the start of the season. So, props to them. But going through their future, their future looks slim. Like, but when we say competing for a championship, this is a team that's pretty far from it. Very far.
At least 5 years from it.
At least 5 years from it, but that's also not including like them not having draft picks, and like I said, the Bradley Beal trade, the losing Bradley Beal and that contract. Like, this is a team that has lost a lot, and going to their future, man, it's looking really bad. And like they invested so much into this team that ended up flopping. Obviously, one of the worst flops in NBA history.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm gonna take the Phoenix Suns in this one.
Can I ask Kai a question quickly before you go?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we look at these two teams. Obviously, let's be real. The Suns and LA Clippers are not contenders. These are not rosters that are going to go into the playoffs and do damage at this point.
Of course.
Suns, on the other hand, they're playing well. It's a small sample size, but they are playing well. But I think these are two franchises that are both eventually going to have to go through a rebuild phase in the coming years.
Have to.
If that happens, I think the Suns are in a better position because they have the biggest asset of these two teams right now. If you were to trade Devin Booker right now, what you would get back is way more than whatever the Clippers would get for trading some of their players.
I just don't think they're going to be willing to trade. They just signed him this offseason.
I understand that.
They just re-signed him. So
I know, but that makes him a better asset to trade because you don't want to trade him on a small contract.
yeah, but like, hey, that only comes until they do that. But at the moment, I'm still gonna say that the Phoenix Suns are in a worse position.
What do you think, Liam?
I understand what you're saying, right? Both teams are screwed at least for the next 5 seasons because Phoenix has to deal with the Bradley Beal contract for the next 5 seasons, and they don't have picks. I mean, they have picks here and there, but they're not any good picks.
They're not good.
The Clippers literally don't have a pick for the next 5 seasons, and they have an old core. I'm leaning more towards I think the Clippers are a little more screwed, and it goes back to the age thing. Like, what really I really like Phoenix's young core, and I think that's good for them, right? Because Dylan Brooks is having the best season of his career right now. Like I said before, although controversial, I think that he can be a key piece on a contender. Jalen Green is also a tradable asset. Grayson Allen's been playing out of his mind, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. I believe they still have Royce O'Neal. He can be a valuable piece on a contending team. And although these pieces don't all mesh together, it's just about the assets they have versus the assets that the Clippers have that they can really give up. James Harden, at this point in his career, it's just he's going to be on too big of a contract and demand too little for him to be a good piece to trade. Same goes for Kawhi Leonard, especially with the injury history. They gave up Norman Powell, which I thought they didn't want to pay him or whatever the case may be. I thought that was a little ridiculous. Their best asset right now is Zubac, which you can probably get. He can get
a few picks from
him.
him.
You can get a few picks from him. But they both don't really have that bright of a future. But I would lean towards the Clippers in terms of being worse. But I think one more team that we could mention in this conversation, especially based on the cold start that they had, is Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks are burning also close to $20 million on that. What did I say?
Lillard.
I said 20 or 30. I don't remember.
I think it's 20, 30.
22 a year for 5 years.
22 a year for 5 years on the Damian Lillard. They went all in on Miles Turner. I think he's a good player. Don't know if he's worth. So he's getting 20 mil a year plus the dead cap space. So he's really worth $40 million a year. I don't think he's worth $40 million a year. And they have him. I don't know. And they're going to have to trade Giannis. Obviously, they'll be able to get a big haul for Giannis, and they have more control over their picks. But
that's going to be the biggest
to lose Giannis in a small market like that is going to be huge.
Catastrophic.
You could see that team in a rebuild for the next 10 years because it's the Milwaukee Bucks. They have to build to the draft like OKC, and they're not as well equipped as OKC was. When Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook ended up leaving. So,
do you think the Bucks is one of those teams if they trade Giannis that could potentially even move cities?
You think that might be out of Milwaukee if they trade Giannis?
I think their history just goes too deep.
Yeah, I think so too.
For them to do that.
Milwaukee's a basketball town.
We hear all these rumors about expansion and moving cities. Seattle has been
Vegas.
A big conversation over the years. They have such a great fan base. And I don't know. If they lose Giannis, it's going to be a long rebuild.
It's going to be devastating, man.
Devastating.
It is. And it's sad because this is a guy who just wants to be there and win games, but they haven't been able to make it happen. The Milwaukee Bucks have failed Giannis in a way that they will regret down the line.
It really might come. It's going to be a Giannis having to request a trade because Giannis, you could see he doesn't want to leave. If he wanted to leave, he would have asked for a trade this offseason. So, it's not.
We all know the player that Giannis Antetokounmpo is. Super loyal, wants to be there, but at the end of the day, he also wants to win.
So, would you guys say that Milwaukee is in a worse position than either of the other two teams?
I think Milwaukee is by far in a worse spot than the Clippers and the Suns.
Even though they control more picks in the coming years than those two teams,
and they also have the biggest asset out of all of them.
That is a very good point.
That asset,
but
holds
I look at
extreme amount of value.
I look at this Bucks roster right now. They have no one.
They have no one.
Dude, they're all over the place.
No one. Dude. Not one person.
It's a disaster.
It's bad.
I do think the Clippers are in a worse position than Milwaukee, though. Just because all these old players, I mean, even the signing of Brook Lopez, bad signing, man. Obviously, Brook can be a good piece on a good team.
But he's old.
Yeah, bad signing.
He's old.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make sense what's going on over there. And like they don't have picks. the Paul George trade is still having an effect on what's going on in
The
LA.
Clippers,
Yeah,
man.
it's like
I mean, the
I think-
Thunder. Yeah, I've said this before, but the Thunder might have fleeced the. This might have been arguably one of the worst trades of all time. Obviously, you're going up against Nico Harrison.
Yeah.
the
But no, no.
absolute goat of bad decisions. No Jalen Brunson trading Luka. Wow.
Yeah, but like at that same instance, you're looking at they pretty much gave a championship to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
But giving away
Shea.
an MVP and Jalen Williams and Chet, giving up all those players onto one team, and not only that, having potentially the first overall pick this season.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially.
Unprotected.
At least a
first
top
round.
10 pick at this point. That is
And
unbelievable.
the OKC got the opportunity to get rid of Paul George. Absolute terrible player. So that was huge. That was huge, man. But yeah. Let's get into some old players, some classic players.
All right.
Hardwood classic segment. I'm gonna name some players. You're gonna tell me if Carmelo Anthony would be better than these players today or worse than these players today.
All right, let's do it.
I got 5, so we'll go through each level. Level 1, Andrew Wiggins.
Yes, he would be better than Andrew Wiggins.
We could swiftly move
I think
past
we can
this.
move past that
We can
without
swiftly move
question.
past
There's no doubt. Number 2, a guy who's been going off this season for the Brooklyn Nets, Michael Porter Jr. Now, I just want to put in context. Carmelo Anthony isn't exactly known as a piece on a championship roster. Not that he wasn't a great player or whatever, but was his play style conducive to winning championships? Michael Porter Jr. does have that championship.
But I wouldn't say that he was a conducive piece into winning a championship. I think if you plugged in Carmelo, you'd probably get the same kind of result.
I disagree.
because you have
I think
Jokic.
MPJ is definitely one of those players who, if you put on a decent roster, he will produce 100% and can win you an NBA championship. Do you not remember that finals run and how well he played?
But I think that's mainly conducive off of Jokic.
Fair, but
If they don't have, Jokic runs the
Do
entire
you think
thing.
with that Denver team, if you put Carmelo in that position, they're doing as well?
Prime Carmelo? I think they do just as well.
I don't, because Carmelo Anthony needs the ball in his hands. MPJ is a guy who is one of the best catch and shoot shooters of the past decade, and he's shown that he can do it in the playoffs.
I think that's the real conversation right here. Is like they play differently.
Yeah.
Right. Melo is ball dominant scorer, post, midi, and nowadays you call these shots inefficient. The shots that Carmelo Anthony was taking.
Yeah, for the time. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr., although he was quite the chucker on Denver, he fit in that role where I don't think Melo would fit in that role, if that makes sense. But I think obviously Carmelo Anthony was the better player
Yeah.
than Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah. You also have to admit that Michael Porter Jr. was a very streaky player. He
Yeah.
he wasn't the most efficient every given night like Carmelo was, especially during his prime.
Yeah. And Michael Porter, he's having a great season this year, but I think we can move past that.
Yeah.
It's Carmelo Anthony.
100%.
I agree.
All right, level 3, Brandon Ingram.
See, now this is where it gets a little more interesting.
This is where it gets interesting. They both have similar play styles.
Now, one thing I've been very impressed with so far this season with Brandon Ingram is his attention to detail on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's much improved from him. Much improved. His perimeter defense has been extremely solid. And I don't think that's something Carmelo Anthony ever had. Good perimeter defense.
Oh,
which is-
no, definitely not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever looked at Carmelo Anthony as a defensive threat.
And I think they are both very similar scorers as far as their spots. But I have to go with Carmelo Anthony. This is one of the greatest scorers ever.
Yeah, I would say Carmelo was a more well-rounded scorer from all over the floor. I know that Brandon Ingram can also score pretty well-roundedly as well, but I think Carmelo Anthony did it on a more effective clip. I think he was more unstoppable than what Brandon Ingram brought to the table. But I think it's close. But give me Carmelo Anthony by a hair.
By a hair for sure.
Yeah,
I'm going Melo, not by hair. I'm going by Melo was how many scoring titles does he have? At least one.
he does have at least
At least one. But either way, I'm going Melo.
Okay.
Next one, I think this is really where it starts to get interesting. One, yeah, Franz Wagner.
I am 100% going Franz Wagner here.
Really,
100%. I think
Franz over Melo.
I think Franz Wagner right now is a better player than Carmelo Anthony ever was. Let that sink in for a second.
As he's having a great game too.
We know what Carmelo Anthony brings offensively.
No doubt.
But Franz Wagner is a guy whose facilitation and ease getting to the rack is something that's extremely special and rare to find in the NBA today. He is 6'10", which I didn't even realize. He's 6'10", and plays like a guard, handles like a guard, and is so strong and has some of the best footwork in the NBA. I think his play style is perfect for the modern NBA. I think if Carmelo Anthony were in the NBA now, he would not have the same impact as Franz. I'm going Franz Wagner.
Oh man,
I think I do agree with those points. I think he's very good player, especially for today's NBA. Like you said, like I think he brings a lot of that European traits, that European basketball that's been getting very popular lately.
yeah.
And I think that's a very good key component to today's NBA now, with spacing and shooting and getting players involved. We see that a lot in recent European players, but it's too inconclusive to say for Franz when it comes to just pure results on the NBA court and when it comes to winning. Obviously, Orlando has been pretty good
As of late. Very good.
very good as of late. But obviously, last season they weren't the most amazing team in the world, like a mid tier NBA team. This season is starting out fresh. What we saw out of Carmelo Anthony was what a two, like the highest was like a 2 seed.
Western Conference Finals.
No, they I don't think that they made the Western Conference.
They didn't make it. They didn't play the Spurs one year.
I don't believe so. But yeah, Carmelo Anthony at least has made results in the playoffs. Like you said, scoring title, which Franz does not have, and I don't believe will ever have.
In 2009, Carmelo Anthony played against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
I see. So yeah, I think in overall career, what we've seen out of Carmelo, we've seen at least a player that's been able to lead them to deep playoff berths, scoring titles, good records during the regular season.
But the question is in the modern NBA, right?
Exactly.
Who would be the better player right now? You got to look at this realistically. Franz Wagner is a very good defender. He has an extremely good basketball IQ.
Yeah.
He's fast. He has size. He's positionless at times. He could be a 1, he could be a 2, he could be a 3, he could be a 4. He brings more to the table, especially in the modern NBA.
You know what? You're
he
right.
does more. He does more than Carmelo Anthony.
No,
and
you're
that's
right.
the reality.
You're right. I will take Franz. I will also take Franz. But
I love changing people's minds. I love it.
You're right. You convinced me. I will take Franz, but I think it's close. I think it's closer with other circumstances coming into account. But I will take Franz. You're right. I'll say that.
I think Carmelo Anthony is the better player of the two because
That's not the question, though.
I know I'm getting there. Griff. I think Carmelo's a better player of the two, just his scoring ability, how effective he was, how unstoppable he was. But in this modern era, what the shots that we're looking for, the shots that you're hunting as an offense, the efficiency, especially on the attempts, Lamelo was efficient. Don't get me wrong, but Franz is more conducive to what you need from a player today. Obviously, the shooting is on and off. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. But I I can't see Lamelo. Oh, sorry, I keep saying Lamelo. Carmelo stepping in today and doing the same thing that he was doing back then. I think he played in the perfect time for his game. That forwards with the post game, middies,
Of course.
quick pulls, off the dribble kind of stuff like that. Today we're just hunting. You're hunting deep balls, which I don't recall, but I don't feel like Carmelo Anthony was a deep ball shooter.
I mean,
No,
Yeah,
never.
he was
Never.
primarily off the dribble, close 3-pointers. And even when he did play in the modern day, 2018, whatever it was, he wasn't the Melo that we all remember him. Obviously, he was past his prime, but I think it showed, like, if he doesn't catch a rhythm, he's not the same Melo that we usually see, and that's important.
you can even go as early as the Oklahoma City days. Obviously, when he was plugged into Oklahoma, he was supposed to be that spark piece to give you that extra boost of offense that the Oklahoma City Thunder was looking for, especially like outside shooting. And we just didn't see that.
Yeah.
That was very much like a poor form of what we thought of Carmelo Anthony, especially like in modern day NBA.
And Carmelo Anthony is one of those guys where he really did not have a lot of help through his entire career, especially in his prime. And I think that's something that holds his legacy back a tad. Obviously, Carmelo Anthony is mellow. We know what he does. But I think his legacy and production wasn't as good because of what was around him.
Yeah.
That's true. GM's failed Melo in a sense.
Yeah.
The last player I was going to mention was Jason Tatum, but I think we can all go Jason Tatum.
Jason
on that.
Tatum.
It is not even
By-
close.
by a landslide.
It is not even close.
Jason Tatum just does everything so well.
I don't think Carmelo Anthony was ever a top 5 player in the NBA.
It's definitely not true.
That's definitely not true.
What year?
2013.
2013.
2012, 2013. He was the only other player in the NBA that got MVP votes besides LeBron James. Obviously, that was the year that LeBron James went and had one of his most amazing seasons in his career. But
In that year, I'm taking LeBron.
of course,
I'm taking Kobe.
2013. You're saying Kobe?
2013 Kobe.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm not. 2013.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
LeBron,
okay.
KD, Dwight.
Dwight, I don't know about
No,
Dwight. I wouldn't-
2013 Dwight,
especially
I'm not
that's
taking.
Laker Dwight. That's not.
Honestly, even
Orlando Magic
I think
Dwight.
I'm taking Blake Griffin that year over Carmelo Anthony.
I wouldn't even go there either. I wouldn't go there
That's
either.
how I feel.
I'm your
Even-
I
mom.
feel
And
like
Chris Paul.
Blake Griffin.
Huh?
I
And
think
Chris Paul.
You can. I think Chris Paul's more of an argument, but I think he's closer.
Blake.
And Westbrook.
No.
All right. You're not being serious there.
I am being
but-
serious.
No, you're not, man.
Yeah.
I'm not
I mean, he
even
was first team All NBA that year, so
Second option of that team.
okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
All right. Let's get into I think it's the last question.
Yeah.
All right. Tracy McGrady or
okay, never mind. Cal. Sorry, we had one more. It's fine.
we did. Which one?
Can I introduce it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Time's running a little long, just to let you know.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, you good. You just
All right, just quickly, we'll get into this. We wanted to get into the Derek Queen situation a little bit.
You're right.
I
that
could
was
talk about it a
my
little bit.
rookie of the year.
So, as we know, Derek Queen was drafted this year. They traded the pick, the Pelicans. Sorry, the Hawks.
No. Yeah.
The Hawks traded the pick. So, to the Pelicans for Derek Queen. In exchange, this year, the Atlanta Hawks get an unprotected pick from the Pelicans.
Yeah.
With this draft, with this stacked draft class, it's very top heavy, and it's looking very, very good with Cam Boozer, with AJ, with Darren Peterson out of Kansas. These are a lot of franchise-changing players that the Pelicans could have potentially gotten. So, how do we feel about this trade? And how do we feel about Derek Queen? And do we think this was the right decision for the Pelicans in the long run?
So you brought some interesting points up, in terms of this being a very loaded draft class, very top-heavy draft class, which, bodes well for lottery teams. I personally am a huge fan of Derek Queen, and I think that his potential is Sengun-esque, which, no matter... I don't know. I think that's a really high ceiling, and I think that's really something good for them to have. Obviously, he's less NBA. He is not, so NBA ready. He's having a good season. Don't get me wrong, but he's undersized for his position for being a center. But I'm really not mad at it. I think Derek Queen's going to be a terrific player in this league. His vision on the floor at his position, his ability his footwork. I mean, he has some of the best footwork that I've seen from a big coming out of college. He's just so fluid with it. His ability to be crafty in those positions. Obviously, I talked about the passing a little bit, but the playmaking from Derek Queen is something that we only see in Senguns and Jokic's of the world. The Boozer twins are obviously big. They have that tall guy from Tennessee who's shooting extremely well. But I think if you're the Pelicans, you have to be happy from what you're getting from Derek Queen.
I 100% agree. I go as far to say that Derek Queen currently is my front runner for Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year?
For Rookie of the Year, for sure. He's been playing out of his mind, man. He's been playing out of his mind. I think that obviously this Pelicans team is depleted when it comes to assets. But
Yeah.
the bright spot is Derek Queen at the moment. I think, like you said, he's been playing Sengun-esque, I think, play style-wise, especially footwork, like you said. Also passing as well. He's been very good. He's passing
unbelievable.
out to the outside. He's been very good with what the Pelicans have at the moment.
And don't get me wrong, he's still a project, right? You're not getting potential prime Derek Queen off the rip. You're gonna have to wait a little bit to develop him. But I also think he fits their timeline. He's young. They're going to a rebuild. They're in the rebuild, really.
In the rebuild.
So I think it fits their timeline. That if you get good pieces, surround him with that, put together a solid team around him, and he reaches his potential, I think that's good for them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
For me, as an Atlanta Hawk fan, I was absolutely ecstatic when I heard about this trade. I had to read it 5 times before believing it was true. The Pelicans, who I knew personally coming into this season that they were not going to be a team that was going to get a ton of wins. And I don't think it was smart.
Who said that?
I didn't think the Pelicans were going to be good.
Oh, I thought you meant the Hawks.
No. I'm talking about the Pelicans.
Okay.
And I think with how stacked this draft class is, especially, like I said, top heavy, there are so many NBA ready players in this upcoming draft.
But why do you feel like that fits the Pelicans' timeline better?
I don't think, honestly, the timeline thing, I
Yeah,
scratched
okay,
that.
got you.
The timeline thing was wrong. But as far as Derek Queen, I think a lot of his stats have been inflated because the Pelicans have been hurt, and also they just don't have a lot of guys. He is playing well, but there are some things I'm concerned about Derek Queen. Number one, his defense and his motor.
He's on the slower end.
His overall athleticism in general, which hurts him, especially as a big in the modern NBA.
I don't think that matters,
I
though.
actually disagree with that.
No, because he can't guard. He can't guard the people he's matching up with.
I think that also just
And-
comes with development.
He turns the ball over. He turns the ball over a lot.
That's true.
Those are my issues with Derek Queen. I think he's going to be a good player. I don't think he's going to be an all-star at any point in his career. You guys view Derek Queen a lot higher than I do. And as an Atlanta Hawk fan, I'm very excited for the 2026 NBA draft. And again, we don't know what this pick number is going to be. We've seen some crazy thing in the NBA draft the past couple of years. With the Mavs, with the Hawks the year before getting the number 1 pick. They had a 0.7% chance of getting that number 1 pick. And we get Zachary Rizajay. Awesome. And
Hey, we're not. Y'all not complaining about that.
No. I'm not complaining. I love Rizajay. But compared to these other number 1 picks like Wemby and Flag, it's like,
Night and day.
of course. But I am very excited for the draft, and I hope this trade ends up working out for the Atlanta Hawks.
Absolutely.
Definitely a possibility. But I like Derek Queen.
I agree.
All right. Last topic, Tracy McGrady or Griffin, you want to list them or should I list them?
You got it.
All right. So let's put some context to Tracy McGrady's name. For his career, 15 seasons, 19 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 4 assists, 1 steal. In his best season, he averaged 32 points, won a scoring title, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 threes a game on 39%. These are modern day numbers. This is back in 2003. Field goal percentage was 46%. Off 24 attempts. Again, solid numbers. 7-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 7-time All-NBA team. It was scattered between first and third team. And he was 2001 most improved player. I think it's 2001 most improved player. 2017 Hall of Famer. Tracy McGrady. I'm sure if you're watching this podcast, I don't have to explain to you how good Tracy McGrady was in his prime. People compare him to Kobe Bryant when he was in his prime. The scoring ability, the physicality, the attention to detail when it comes to footwork.
The clutchness, man.
The clutchness.
33 seconds. That's all you got to say, man.
33 seconds. 33 seconds.
Tracy McGrady is one of those guys, and it's so rare to say this. He did not have any weakness to his game for his position.
Defensively.
His weakness was him getting hurt. That is literally it.
Yeah.
That's it.
He might be the biggest what if in NBA history. He was that good. I'm going to be honest. People going to hate me for saying this. He looked like Kobe on steroids in his prime. He was a bigger, more physical Kobe Bryant. And Kobe, we all know how good Kobe was. But that's just how good T-Mac was, in his prime. So,
and efficient.
And efficient. And he shot the 3 well before people shot the 3 well. Like, off the dribble. Okay.
And I think the difference between T-Mac and Kobe was, for T-Mac, it was very natural for him. Kobe kind of had to work more for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
T-Mac was smooth, slashing to the lane, getting whatever shot he wanted. Like you said, his shot was fluid. And I feel like Kobe, he used a lot more footwork, a lot more hustle driving to the basket than T-Mac did. But yeah, let's get into these comparisons.
Sorry. All right. T-Mac or someone that we just talked about, Carmelo Anthony. Both prolific scorers. They scored in the same areas, but totally differently.
Yeah.
Right? Melo was more quick pulls. T-Mac was more footwork.
I think prime for prime, I'm taking T-Mac.
Yeah.
I'm also taking T-Mac. I think he's a more versatile scorer, but I think T-Mac's playmaking ability was very, very underrated at that time. This is a guy, I think his best season, he was averaging 6, how many assists was it?
5.5 assists.
5.5 assists.
Pretty good.
I don't think Carmelo Anthony ever did that.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, just overall skill level, I'm taking T-Mac over Melo.
Agreed. Not to say that Carmelo isn't skillful, especially
100%.
offensively,
Of course.
but I'm just taking T-Mac's skill set over Carmelo.
Yeah, and I agree. I would go T-Mac over Melo. No shade to Melo. I'm just talking about prime, not career.
Yeah, just talking pure
prime for prime. Yeah. Next one. Grant Hill.
This is when it comes to comparisons, I think this is the closest that you're gonna get. When it comes to high peak and then steep drop off when it comes to injuries. Also, Grant Hill was also another player that was unfortunately held back with the injury bug.
Oh yeah.
Grant Hill was
and
high peak.
To be fair, Grant Hill played totally different than T-Mac. Grant Hill was so much. Yeah. Grant Hill
They played pretty similar.
Pretty similar
I'm not gonna lie.
for like.
Grant Hill was looking to pass way more than T-Mac was.
Fair.
It was also
Very
like
good point.
the 90s and 90s play style when Grant Hill played. And I think he played really. During that time, Grant Hill was getting comparisons to Michael Jordan. During that time, the next Michael Jordan is what they call Grant Hill.
I know, but he didn't play anything like.
Yeah, no.
Michael
I
Jordan.
think that Grant Hill created the point forward. He was an excellent passer, had excellent court vision, Obviously, he could do everything on the offensive side of the ball. His defense was tenacious.
Yep.
Grant Hill was incredible and had probably a better, I would say, a better basketball IQ than Tracy McGrady.
100%, man.
But
Y'all are really underrating Grant Hill's playmaking ability.
yeah.
He was
no.
He was Braun before
defending
Braun,
Grant Hill
man.
out here,
Yeah.
man. Damn.
Yeah, I honestly have them at equal. I think that's equal. I think they're the same.
No player is equal nowadays, my friend. You got to pick one.
Yeah,
Gotta pick one. Prime for prime.
I gotta go Grant Hill.
I'm not mad at that, bro.
He was the first real point forward, and he was special before his injuries. He was special.
I'm going T-Mac. In the sense that, like, I agree. He was one of the first point forwards, but I think Grant Hill walked so T-Mac can run. I think offensively, T-Mac was just on another level when it comes to just, like, pure scorer.
100%.
Yep. I agree.
Scoring-wise, I think T-Mac was just, like, on another level that, like, there's a few players in NBA history that are able to do that. Obviously, we see modern NBA players play like T-Mac nowadays, now, but T-Mac was so ahead of his time, way ahead of his time than any other person in NBA history, man. So yeah, I'm gonna take T-Mac on that one.
Yep.
What about you? Damn.
God, this is hard. I don't know. Prime for prime. I'm gonna go. Give me. All right. I'm gonna go T-Mac. I'm gonna go T-Mac because I really feel like, if it wasn't for injuries on that Houston team, who knows what they could have accomplished, man. I think it was a few years later, 1 or 2 years later,
What?
that Houston team ended up in the Western Conference, or no, second round, going to 7 games with the future champ Los Angeles Lakers.
What was it? What? T-Mac,
T-Mac,
Yao Ming,
Battier.
Steve Francis.
No, Steve Francis was gone by that point. They had Aaron Brooks.
Aaron
they
Brooks,
had
they did have Aaron
Scola. They had
Luis Scola, bro.
Patrick Peterson, whatever that guy's name was.
Patrick Peterson.
I think that was his name. I don't remember.
That's a cornerback in the NFL.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I thought T-Mac could have been a really good player on that team. So, yeah, I'll go T-Mac there. Next one, another interesting one. We talked about this player not too long ago. Kobe Bryant. Or prime for prime, T-Mac or Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
I'm taking Kobe.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's Kobe. Kobe he reached that.
But
It
it's
could have
close.
been. It could have been.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah. It
Obviously-
could have been. It could have been T-Mac.
Obviously, when we look at Kobe's highest scoring season, I think it was, 34, 36 points per game in the 2006 season. Obviously phenomenal. Obviously, Kobe's one of the best scorers of all time, top 10 scorers on the high scoring list of all time. And you just got to give him his flowers, man. Kobe was just another phenomenal scorer.
Yep. All right. Next one. I think this one's interesting. Jaylen Brown.
All right, we're getting into more modern NBA.
Yeah, getting to some modern.
The thing with T-Mac that really hurts his legacy is that this guy never won a playoff series, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. And Jaylen Brown...
Well, technically, he was on the 2013 Spurs.
Technically, but he retired.
Anyway, thanks for the irrelevant comment. Obviously, Jaylen Brown's a Finals MVP.
Yep.
We know what he brings. One of the best two-way players of the modern NBA.
Yep.
Very, very good defender. Doesn't have a lot of weakness on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, T-Mac is the better scorer, but all around,
All around.
I think I'm taking Jaylen Brown.
I think all around I'm also taking Jaylen Brown as well.
I think, honestly, peak for peak, I think I might go T-Mac, man. I just think, he had a more versatile offensive game, and defensively, I think he was just as good as Jaylen Brown. And I think he's a better playmaker than Jaylen Brown. If I'm just strictly talking about peak right here, I think I would go with T-Mac.
Not mad at it when it comes to
Yeah.
scoring. I'd say so.
I think very highly of Jaylen Brown. I think he gets too much hate as is, but I just think T Mac was a dog, man. Allen Iverson.
Now we're talking about an MVP right here
Yeah. Made it to a finals too
by himself.
by himself with the Kembe Mutombo.
I'm gonna go AI. I have to.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're equal as far as scoring. And AI in his prime was a better defender, and there's more playoff success.
AI was a better defender
Better
than T
defender than
Mac.
T-Mac?
Nah.
AI was like a liability on defense.
It's close. You're right. It's pretty close. No, he was not a liability in his prime.
He was.
I,
He was on the
I'm
shorter
going.
end of
I
NBA
am going
players.
AI only because I value finals runs so much, and I think that finals run is just so big. The fact that he was able to do that, and I mean, and the MVP as well. Like
Yeah.
prime Allen Iverson
Of course, we're talking peak here.
was such a problem, bro. He was running through teams. He was just the scoring ability. He wasn't much of a playmaker, but he didn't need to be. He got his team where they needed to go.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for lack of GM helping him out, we could be talking about Allen Iverson with the championship.
I wouldn't go as far as say that they were going up against Kobe and Shaq.
That's what I'm saying. Lack of GM.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's beating that team, respectfully.
Detroit did.
Yeah, but during that playoff run, Lakers were undefeated up until they faced
And the San Antonio Spurs beat the Lakers.
not that playoff time.
It was the year before that, 2005. Or no, 2003.
I'm just talking about the 2001 series because we're talking about like AI's prime.
Okay,
And his
okay.
prime was so long, so consistent for so long. Like I'm looking at his stats right now, and he averaged 30 points, over 30 points a game, 6 times in his career.
Whoa! Didn't he do that his rookie year too?
His rookie year, he did not.
What did he average his rookie year?
24 points a game.
Oh, that's not bad. That's actually really
very
good.
good.
Did he win Rookie of the Year? No, no. Wait, did he?
He did.
Damn.
He won
That was a
over
loaded
Kobe.
class.
Yeah.
Kobe, Nash.
Kobe, Nash, Ray Allen.
And also, I don't think it's correct whatsoever to say AI wasn't a good playmaker. AI
No,
was a
no.
very good
I didn't
playmaker.
mean it like. I just meant like he wasn't like an elite playmaker.
Way better than Tracy.
Yeah.
Nah, I disagree.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
disagree.
yes, he was.
I disagree.
Yeah. Give me
He
AI
was.
too. Give me AI.
Anthony Edwards.
It's pretty early.
It's early to say, but
Really say. Give me T Mac.
That's so hard. Yeah,
Give
I'm
me-
going T-Mac too.
Yeah, T Mac offensively was just super complete. I think there's still flaws in Anthony Edwards' game at the moment offensively.
Specifically, shot selection.
Shot selection for sure. And streakiness.
can I just say something to shot selection? Because he shot 40% from 3 off 10 attempts last season.
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah, it is really good.
But specifically talking about this season, his his decision making has been piss poor, and I feel like T Mac has just been overall consistent. But if we're looking at peak for peak, I'm still just taking T Mac overall at the moment.
This one's so hard, man. I'm gonna go. I'll go T Mac. I'll go T Mac. Just
It's
early.
early.
It's early for
It's
Edwards,
early.
but Edwards he will get there. He will get there from what I've seen. You go? Did you say?
Oh yeah, I did.
You said
Okay.
T Mac.
Let's just wrap it up with Paul George. Give me T Mac all day, every day, twice on Sunday. No shot. Paul George not even in this conversation. We could.
Speak of like the biggest Paul George hater right here, man.
I'm not a hater, man.
The
I'm not a
biggest
hater.
Paul
I
George
just-
hater
I know.
ever,
I know.
bro.
I know what it is, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But like you said, you take it a lot into playoffs into consideration.
Yeah, I do.
What about T Mac?
What about Paul George?
Both very similar.
No.
Do you know how many
No.
playoff series Paul George has won? a lot as arguably the best player in the team.
No, man. Only in Indiana. And maybe one
But-
year with the Clippers. Bro.
But you
he's
don't-
been a disappointment ever since.
But you
Was
don't
he
take
not the best player when they beat the Heat?
They never beat the Heat.
when they played the Heat.
When they
Yeah, he was. That was his prime.
You got to take that into consideration.
Yeah, that prime is not better than T-Mac's prime.
fair, I give you that.
Unless you want to say his prime was at OKC, then we can talk about the playoffs with OKC.
I'm good.
Yeah. All right. All right, want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Another great episode. Run the tape. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you got to do. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in a week.
Yeah, appreciate you guys,
Sure.
man.
Yep. So let's run the tape.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Oh yeah,
Happy
happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Give gratitude.
That was dope.
Wait, do we need to stop that thing?
Yes.